A brand new car sits untouched on a Sydney dealership forecourt for months, the price sticker still stuck to the windscreen, while sales staff struggle to explain why nobody wants it. In 2025, 5 models hit rock bottom, each losing at least 40% of their buyers in a single year. We're counting them down, starting with a luxury electric SUV that managed just 15 sales nationwide. In the 5th place, the Genesis GV60 stands as a striking example of luxury technology meeting market hesitation. Only 15 of these fully electric small SUVs found homes in Australia during 2025, an 80% drop from the year before. Despite its illuminated rotating dial gear selector, ultra-fast charging, and quilted leather interior, the GV60's presence in showrooms has shifted from prestige to puzzlement. With a price tag hovering near $90,000 Australian dollars before on-road costs, this is a serious investment, but one with almost no resale track record in Australia. Finance companies and dealers face an uphill battle trying to reassure buyers about what a GV60 will be worth in 3 or 5 years, especially when comparable sales are almost non-existent. That uncertainty overshadows even the car's most advanced features. In a segment where buyers often stick with established luxury EVs boasting clearer resale histories, the GV60's quality is eclipsed by a cloud of doubt. It's not a failure of engineering, but a warning that in 2026, even the most sophisticated electric SUVs can be left behind if they can't guarantee value beyond the first drive. Number 4, the BMW Z4 stands as a familiar badge facing an unfamiliar struggle in Australian showrooms. Just 52 units found buyers in 2025, a dramatic 48% drop from the previous year. For decades, the Z4 has been BMW's answer to the classic 2-seat roadster, offering open-air driving and, in its M40i form, a turbocharged inline 6-cylinder engine that delivers both power and refinement. Yet even with that pedigree, the Z4 is approaching its final chapter. BMW has confirmed global production will end in March 2026, and Australia won't see a commemorative send-off. Local stock now represents some of the last new examples of this generation available anywhere. The core issue is not BMW's engineering or brand reputation, but the collapse of the traditional sports car segment itself. Buyers have shifted decisively toward SUVs, even for weekend fun, leaving convertibles like the Z4 with a shrinking audience. Its premium price tag only sharpens the divide, especially when the mechanically related Toyota Supra offers similar performance for less. As the Z4's era closes, what remains is a striking example of how even iconic models can be left behind when the market's priorities change. Number 3, the Skoda Scala stands as a stark example of how quickly market tides can turn against even well-engineered vehicles. In 2025, just 249 units of the Scala left Australian showrooms, a sharp 40% drop from the previous year. Built on the Volkswagen Group's MQB platform and positioned below the Octavia, the Scala was designed to offer European refinement at a more accessible price point. Yet its appeal has been overshadowed by a fundamental shift in what Australian buyers want. The small hatchback segment, once a mainstay of urban driving, has been squeezed out by the relentless rise of small SUVs. Monthly VFACTS reports show hatchback registrations have stagnated since 2019, while SUVs have surged to dominate more than 60% of all new car sales. For Skoda, the challenge is compounded by low brand recognition compared to Korean rivals like Hyundai and Kia, making it even harder to draw attention to a hatchback in a market obsessed with higher-riding vehicles. The Scala's struggle is not about quality or engineering. It's about being trapped in a segment that has lost its relevance. As consumer priorities shift toward versatility and perceived value, the Scala's place in the showroom has become more of a relic than a real contender. Number 2, the Audi e-tron GT stands as a cautionary tale for the luxury EV market in Australia. In 2025, just 33 units of this electric performance sedan were sold nationwide, marking a drop of more than 60% from the previous year. With a price tag well north of $200,000 Australian dollars, and the RS e-tron GT variant pushing up to $270,000 Australian dollars drive away. The e-tron GT occupies rarefied air, but that prestige hasn't translated into buyer confidence. Built on the same platform as the Porsche Taycan, the Audi matches its rival on engineering and performance, yet struggles to command the same cachet among Australian luxury car buyers. For many, the Porsche badge carries stronger resale expectations and a clearer path to long-term value, making the Taycan a more attractive bet in a market where depreciation anxiety runs high, especially above the $200,000 Australian dollar mark. The e-tron GT's challenge isn't about capability or technology, it's about the perception of risk. Buyers who once might have leapt at the chance for a cutting-edge EV are now waiting, holding on to their current cars, or opting for the Taycan instead. In this environment, even a high-performance Audi can find itself stalled on the showroom floor, a stark reminder that in 2026, prestige and price must be matched by enduring confidence in resale and brand strength. And finally, in first place, the Jeep Wrangler stands as the most dramatic collapse in the Australian new car market. Once a symbol of rugged adventure, the Wrangler now finds itself stranded on dealer lots. Just 433 units sold nationwide in 2025, marking a 40% drop from the previous year. The decline is even starker in the first half of 2025, when sales plummeted nearly 47% to only 220 vehicles. For context, a decade ago, close to 2,900 Wranglers found Australian buyers each year. That legacy has faded, replaced by a sense of uncertainty and frustration among both dealers and die-hard fans. Several forces have converged to push the Wrangler to this point. Jeep's decision to axe the V6 turbo diesel engine from both the Wrangler and Gladiator models has left a void for buyers who relied on diesel power for serious off-roading and towing. The remaining 2.0-litre turbo petrol engine simply doesn't carry the same cachet or torque, and many long-time customers have walked away. At the same time, the base price of a Wrangler has soared, now more than 10,000 Australian dollars higher than it was in 2020, even after recent Rubicon discounts. The cheapest two-door Rubicon in 2025 lists at 79,990 Australian dollars, but that's a rare bright spot in a lineup that starts closer to 90,000 Australian dollars for most variants. These price hikes have put the Wrangler out of reach for many buyers who once saw it as an attainable dream. The pressure doesn't stop at Jeep's own decisions. Chinese rivals have stormed the off-road segment with models like the GWM Tank 300 and Denza B5, offering plug-in hybrid drivetrains, full off-road hardware, and comparable capability at prices that undercut the Wrangler by thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars. The Tank 300, for example, starts from just under 58,000 Australian dollars drive away, while even the premium Denza B5 sits below most Wrangler variants. Both offer longer warranties and lower servicing costs, eroding Jeep's traditional value case. The Wrangler's struggles mirror a wider crisis for Jeep in Australia. The brand managed only 1,682 total sales in 2025, the lowest annual figure since records began in 1997. Grand Cherokee orders have been paused indefinitely, and the dealer network is under strain. For Wrangler, the combination of lost diesel power, relentless price inflation, and a wave of new, cheaper competition has pushed the model from icon to afterthought. The message is clear. In 2026, even the most storied nameplates are not immune to changing buyer priorities and a market that now demands value, confidence, and future-proof appeal above all else. Across all 5 models, one pattern is clear. Australian buyers in 2026 are rejecting risky investments, demanding brands, body styles, and prices that feel future-proof. The sales collapse isn't just about cars, it's a shift in trust. Which models do you see thriving? Drop your thoughts below, subscribe for more.